Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad you're viewing. I wanted to do a really quick video today just to introduce my 5 favorite fragrances right at this point in time. But before I start doing that, I wanted to give a great big thank you to Peter from Fragranceview. Links below. He's been very supportive since I posted my first video the other day, and I think mainly thanks to him I have a few subscribers now and quite a few views of the first couple of videos I've posted. So Peter, thank you very much, and it's worth checking out his channel if you haven't come here via him. He's got a great thing going on at the moment where he's going to create a perfume based on some suggestions from subscribers and people leaving comments. So without further ado, I'm not going to be too in-depth with these, and I want to save that for later videos, but today really what I wanted to talk about are the top 5 perfumes I have in my collection at the moment that I'm absolutely loving, and these were all just first spray, amazing reaction. They weren't scents that crept up on me. I love these from the first spray, and I actually haven't even worn a lot of any of these more than a couple of times because I haven't had them for very long. But I'm so looking forward to wearing them more often. I'm kind of waiting. A lot of these are probably cooler weather scents, and I'm waiting for that weather to change, and I'll be enjoying them a lot, definitely in the winter and the cooler months. This is in no particular order. I might start with the ones I've had the longest. This first one was a blind buy, and it was basically based on a lot of stuff I'd read. It was a bit of a risk because I wasn't sure up until that point. I don't think I had anything in my collection quite like it, with the type of accords that it uses. But the first fragrance in this 5 is Timbuktu by L'artisan Parfumeurs. I don't know if you can see that okay. That's the box, and I believe this is a newer version of the bottle. It's 50 ml. This one here is woody, smoky kind of fragrance. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the notes, but luckily for me, the blind buy paid off, and I love this. It lasts all day. It is an EDT concentration, but it's just really different to anything else I've got in my collection. So that's the first one, Timbuktu by L'artisan Parfumeurs. Please excuse my pronunciation. The next one in my current favorite top 5 is one that I purchased a little bit not long after this, and I was discovering fragrances like Timbuktu, and this one was one that I'd heard so much about. There were quite really rave reviews on this one. This one I bought a small decant off because I wasn't able to well, actually no, there was a store here in Melbourne that was selling the full bottles, so I was able to go into the store and put a couple of sprays on. But again, I was blown away by the initial spice of this fragrance, and then later on, what I love about this fragrance is that this really develops, and you get different stages. And again, it's another one that lasts a long time, but this is so far from a linear scent as you want to get. So this is a small decant of Andy Towers' L'air du Desert Makan. I think that's how I pronounce it. It it is again not much like it that I've smelt, but again I haven't smelt hundreds of fragrances, but this is really special. And you know, the thing is, it's probably not the most versatile scent, but it's one of those scents that you want to just, you know, if you're home alone and you just want to spray it, and not for anybody else but yourself, and just sit there and sniff yourself all day. It's probably not a good look, but it, you know, with this scent, it's worth it. So, L'air du Desert Marocan, that's definitely going to be a full bottle purchase for me once I finish this decant. Now that I know I can, I don't have to buy it online. I can go into one of the stores here in Melbourne to get it. Next one again was one. This was another blind buy. I've been very lucky with bottles that I've bought blind, and the reason I did buy a bottle of this was I was finding it very difficult to find anywhere I could get samples or decants of this. I'm not on Facebook, so I'm not a part of any Facebook groups that do splits or anything like that, but I got a good deal on one of the online sellers here in Australia. They had a sale on this one, and I bought this and another one, which reduced the price again. This one here is L'Egoist by Chanel. It was a wow when I sprayed it, and there is, for me, on my skin, what I pick up is there's a bit of fruit and spice, and then there's definitely, I pick up the rose in this, but for me it's all about the sandalwood dry down. It's very sweet and well, more creamy sandalwood than anything else, and this, it has a real sophistication, this one. And Chanel Egoist, when I wear it, actually makes me feel different. It has a psychological effect on me, but and in here in Australia, what the common one we see in department stores is Platinum Egoist, and for those of you who don't know, they are completely different scents. So this is the original one that came out in the early 90s, I think, 94 maybe. You can still buy it online, and it's still, well, it smells amazing. Definitely one to try if you can. This is the third scent in my top 5 at the moment. This I got a couple of weeks ago, and this has been very difficult to find in Australia. And the only way I was actually able to sample it in person was, luckily I was travelling to Sydney. I live in Melbourne, so I was travelling to Sydney, and there was one place that actually stocked it in a store, and I was able to go in there and spray it on just to test it without, you know, having to order this as a blind buy. So at least I knew what it was like. And again, I sprayed it on my wrist. I let it dry down a little bit, and I bought the bottle there and then. Australian, this was $99 Australian, which is probably about $75 US at the moment, and I think that's what it's retailing for in the US. But I tell you what, it's worth every dollar. This is 1821 Mad Made Sweet Tobacco Spirits. Long name, but great bottle, and right up my alley. Like, it was boozy. It's got the tobacco. It is sweet. I do like sweet fragrances, and again, this lasts all day. it's had rave reviews from a lot of YouTube reviewers, so I'm not going to repeat everything that's been said about this, but other than to say that I'm so glad I have a bottle of this now. I actually have a decant of some other well-known tobacco-based scents like Thierry Mugler's Pure Havane and Parfum de Mali's Herod. I like those a lot, but I think of those three, I really like the overall fragrance on the 1821 the best, which is obviously why it's in my current top 5. Last one, which I only received last week. I've worn it a couple of times. And this one I bought on eBay. Again, these fragrances aren't, well, I can't find them anywhere in Australia. This is from an a seller in the US, and again, this was a blind buy, but I was able to find this in a 15 mil, which I'm happy to spend the money on, because it's not like I'm going to go through it very quickly. This is from Histoire de Parfum 1740 Marquis de Sade. That's the packaging it comes in. I just don't know if you can see that. And I'll just take the bottle out. That's it there. 15 mil. This one is, for me, all about the combination of leather. There's a little bit of booziness about it. It's a little bit animalic, but again, this like the Chanel, when you wear it, it certainly changes your mindset subconsciously, perhaps. But when this is finished, will be definitely a full bottle buy, because I love it. I don't really have anything like it. I do have, as a main leather fragrance. I mean, it's not all about the leather, but I do love the leather in this one, and I love its bit of a dirty feel about it. I think when I was wearing this once, my daughter got close to me and said, "Oh, you smell a bit sweaty, Dad." And I think what she was smelling was this, but it's definitely not a bad sweat smell, if that's possible. Yeah, 1740 Marquis de Sade by Histoire de Parfum. That's it from me for the moment, guys. Thank you. I just wanted to share that with you. Again, thank you to Peter from Fragranceview. His link is below. Leave a comment if you want to let me know what your current top 5 is. Otherwise, I will speak to you soon. Thanks.